Whoa, Nelly. I want to be really good at this. I want to on often, and I just can't. Like, I have a lot to say, of course, and I want to be on here giving the long versions of, like, my Instagram, right? My Instagram is at Meg Thompson Behavior. Meg has 2 G's. And, then come in here and tell you all the things, and sometimes it's by drunk squirrels and I can't remember, and other times it's that I just don't have time, guys. There are kids struggling, and I am really busy helping these kids that are struggling, unfortunately. So today we're going to talk about when do external reward systems work? So I get this all the time. I don't. For the most part, like 99.9% of the time, they do not work. They end in shame, guilt, and embarrassment because they are fun, fast, and easy, and they don't get to the root of the behavior or help kids in any significant way. So people always answer to my Instagram or to when I'm on Facebook or whatever, and they will say, but my kids love it and they work. And I always say, neither of those things are true. They do not work the way you intend them to, right? They work maybe because there's heightened anxiety, and I'm going to focus on that solely. And now my anxiety is like bonkers, and I can't even focus on anything else. And the kids don't love it. They probably love you. And if you ask them, hey, do you love this? Of course they're going to say yes. What kid's going to say no? That's going to get themselves in very big trouble. So I talk about that often. You guys all know that. What I don't often talk about is that they can work sometimes. And I've had 2 work in 11 years. Both the kids have been 15, and both the kids have had my temperament. So I'm going to talk about the one I'm doing right now with the kid. And we are going to start with, right, why does it work right now? Why is the one working right now? Okay, so there's kind of like a checklist I have to go through in my head. And the first item on that checklist is age. Like I said, both have been 15, so they're old enough to understand what's going on. I've been able to ask them, right, so we could share power and control, right? I want to do it with them, not to them. They're old enough to use these skills and tell me what they don't like, and we can change it together. They're also old enough to say, no thank you, I don't know why I thought of this, this is a terrible idea, bye-bye. Know that the 2 that I did, neither one I thought of. Both the kids thought of. The first one that worked was probably 9 years ago. And the girl saw something on TV, and she said, I saw that, and that this works, and she explained like a token board or a sticker chart, and I said, okay. She's like, can we try one? Sure. It was like a sticker chart, and I was at AC Moore. That's not even a thing anymore. I was at AC Moore, picking them off, being like, ugh, I can't believe I'm buying these things. This is terrible. These are awful. Definitely charging the district for the stickers. And it worked for her. For the reasons I'm going to tell you why the one the boy I'm working with now, is working. So first it's age. Have to have buy-in from the kid. You have to have them participate over manipulate, right? That is a principle of relationship. We'll talk about those in a minute. And temperament. There is a temperament that likes getting things, right? There's a temperament and a love language that like the atta girls and you're doing a great job and all those things. So my temperament does like rewards. I like to be rewarded for things. I don't like to be rewarded for things when I don't have a say in it. There are kids that are motivated by recognition and approval, and they do well on sticker charts. They don't, or external reward systems. They only do well if it's done with them, and age is a thing, and all these other pieces are met. And in my 11 years of doing this, almost 12 years of doing this, I've only had 2 kids that have met all the criteria. Second one is love languages. So there are kids, right? Gifts is a love language. So when you give something to someone, right? A love language is the way you show and receive love and care. So they give gifts as well as they receive gifts. Some kids are better at giving them. Some kids are better at receiving them. Some kids love both. I am gifts by love language. I like to give and I like to receive. So if you are not gifts by love languages, this gets really bonkers. And if you are gifts by love language, but you've always been nurtured through gifts, this gets really bonkers, right? The kids who want the thing, right? I think I talked about this in another live, is that there was a little girl who's gifts by love language, and she did all, it worked because she wanted the gift, and then she wanted to give them to other kids, and then the teachers and administration was like, you can't give them to the kids, but she's gifts by love language, so she likes to receive them and she likes to give them. So it ended up not working. So gifts could be a benefit or detriment to this, to making an external reward system for a kid. They have to be able to, and this is age sometimes, but also maturity and their ability to take the skills they learn and transfer them to different environments and use these skills long term, right? I'm working on this one skill and I did it and I got the reward. Now can I keep that skill and keep working on it, or is it going to go by the wayside while I work on the other skills? And then I haven't actually learned that skill I got the reward for. I just did it to take the test, and now it's not part of my growth, right? So the kids have to be able to do that. And then we have to talk about the principles of relationships. So the 3 are, we have to accept rather than reject. We have to show kids that neurodivergent, neurotypical, green hair, blue hair, any pronoun, transgender, LGBTQIA plus community, quirky, not quirky, loud, not loud, sparkly, special interest, not a special interest, we accept you. And I think that I'm really good at that. You could come to me any way you want. I just had a conversation with a brand new friend, and I said, you could come at me any way you want. I will not then turn around and talk about you behind your back, because I am accepting you for who you are. And if you are this way, actually has nothing to do with me. I want to understand you better. I might ask questions so I can understand you better, because maybe I'm missing that piece. But you don't have to worry about me going and being like, oh my gosh, did you see who so-and-so there? Blah, blah, blah. I do not do that. I accept you any way you are. No, there's not a lot of rejection over here. Understand rather than judge. So instead of judging a kid for being quirky, or judging a kid for a special interest, or judging a kid for being loud, or judging a kid who needs to move too much, or judging a kid who is verbally external when angry, so they're fresh and sassy, they're the kids who swear, you have to understand them. You know how you do that? You get new information. I don't know how many times I've said that. You guys are probably like, enough, Meg. We hear that all the time. And that's true. You do hear that all the time. To understand rather than judge, the only way you could do that is to get new information. Where do you start with getting new information? What kids do you work with where you're missing the piece? I am neurotypical. I am a female. I have a she, her, hers gender. I am married. I have 1 son. What pieces am I missing? Neurodivergent. I'm not a male. I'm not a single mother. I don't have multiple children. I have to know the pieces I'm missing. What piece do I get all the time that I'm missing? Neurodivergence. So I have to jump into that community and figure it out. Not anxious, not depressed, don't have ADHD, don't have autism. Those are the 4 I work with mostly. So I have to know a lot of information to understand kids and adults rather than judge them. Okay? The last one is we want kids to participate, not manipulate them, right? That's the problem I have with a lot of ABA. I know they're changing it. I hear that all the time, but not the new ABA. The new ABA is not like this, or I'm not a BCBA like that. And it's not that I don't believe those things. I've just never seen it done, so I need to see it to say, oh, yeah, okay, I get it. When I see it, I'll believe it. I have not seen it yet. I also have not had any I want to say never in my professional career have had a person in the autistic community who has had ABA done to them like it. I've had family members say that it works. I have not had the actual autistic people say it works. So we have to invite kids in to participate, meaning sharing power and control, making sure they're on board, making sure they can say, oh, I had this idea and now I actually think it sucks and I feel bad and I'm sorry that we made this, but I don't want to do it anymore. You know what? Great. We don't have to. We're going to have a 10-part series, a 10-part PBIS series. If you're interested, you can comment here. I'll send it to you. It's a 10-part PBIS series about how do we not do PBIS when it's mandatory? I said, it's mandatory for you. It is not mandatory for the kids because there's manipulation there by us, but there's manipulation by them for us, so we have to manipulate the kids. If they were to participate, how do we get kids to participate in PBIS? And if they don't want to, then what do we do? Right? So, why does it say, I don't know, the same person keeps commenting? Nonsense? I'm not really sure. But I also have drunk squirrels, so I keep seeing that and thinking it's somebody asking me a question that's just nonsense. I don't know. So we need kids to be able to participate in this. We have to ask a lot of questions. We have to actively listen. We then have to shift, maneuver, start over, end it. We're right. This is always an ongoing thing. So let me tell you the one that I'm doing now. The boy's 15. I told him I was doing a YouTube live, and he thought he was going to be famous. He told me I could say his name. His name is Nino, and he is the age part. He has the temperament part. He has the love language part. He is able. Well, I didn't know if he was able to transfer the skills, but that is a question I had. Ooh, guys, look at that. It's a question I had that I'm always talking to him about. So it was, what was the first thing? Right now we're both, I'm also doing it with him because a lot of the things he's working on, I'm also working on. Oh, the first one was getting written up. So he was getting written up a lot. And he said, what if I get less than, or what if I don't get written up at all? He went cold turkey. What if I don't get written up at all? What was the first thing he earned? I think fidgets. And I said, okay. So we laid the groundwork of okay, what happens if you do get written up and you don't get the fidgets? How are you going to feel about that? Are you going to feel really upset? But upset to the point where you can't focus on school or try again? Is it going to hurt our relationship? Right, I had to ask all those questions. He did it the first time. The second time he got written up, I said, let's try again next week to see if this is just a one-time thing or if it is a always thing. So, second time, he got written up twice. The first time was, sorry, my dog's over here. The first time was a miscommunication, so that one didn't count. The second one is that he kept leaving class, and then he went down to the front desk, and he was bothering the lady at the front desk, and so she had to write him up. She's like, there has to be a consequence, buddy, for this. And that was like 5 days before I got there. And then there wasn't any. He's like, I really, truly, he's like, wait, can I say my piece? And I was like, of course, because we are right. We are accepting, understanding, and letting him participate. And I said, of course. And he said, so I know that I got written up and I know I'm not supposed to get the prize, but that was it was like the end of the week before, and then I go at the end of the week after. So I said, he said, so I haven't left class and I haven't bothered her. So I feel like I've learned my lesson and I'm not doing it anymore. And I said, all right. So he got the prize. And is that, he's like, that's kind of against the rules, isn't it? I was like, well, whose rules? You and I are making the rules. And if you could, I'm hoping that that write-up was the thing that changed it for you. That you're not going to leave class, that you're not going to walk around the school and bother people doing their work. And to this day, this was probably 2 months ago, to this day, he has learned that skill and he has not left class. So, right, he's left class, he signed out, he was not signing out, he was just leaving the class. So now he's signing out, he's going to the bathroom, he's doing the things he needs to do to be appropriate when he leaves the classroom. He's not bothering anybody in their work. And so now, then he says the F word a lot, so he did the F word. He had to do under 5. The first time he did it, he did under 5. And then it had to, now, he says, but I said 200 in my bedroom. I said, oh yeah, you could say all the ones you want in your bedroom. I said, if you're verbally external, there needs to be a safe place for you to do it. You can't do it to a person. You can't just do it in class. That's not appropriate. You can't just do it when talking to somebody and like, right, throwing an F-bomb when it doesn't need to be there. In your room? I don't know, on video games with your friends? There's got to be a place for it. But I did that one with him. Now we're doing the S word. I said it yesterday. Oh, guys. I'm competitive too, so I think I'm going to get a 0. I didn't get a 0. I now already have a 1. He has to do under 10. He's like, I say it all the time. And I was like, you sure under 10? Again, I checked in. Are we going to be able to do it? And if you can't, and you don't get the prize or the reward, are you going to feel bad? And he hasn't felt bad yet. And I said, I don't want it to be that I don't want you to come see me. I don't want you to get to the point where you don't want to ask me for help. I also don't want to be the girl that you come to just because I get you things. One of the rewards was that I was like, what if I, for a reward, because I don't want to keep buying you things, right? I don't want to do it materialistically. I told him about that. I said, how about I do 3 cartwheels in the hallway? That's embarrassing for me. And I'm not really good at cartwheels. So he's like, I don't know. And I was like, come on, right? So now we're trying to figure out how this doesn't keep costing me money. At one point he goes, well, you know what I really want for a prize? I was like, oh, tell me. Again, I'm actively listening. He goes, a bedroom set. And I was like, I could get you a Barbie one at a thrift store if you'd like. I'm not getting you a real bedroom set? He's like, yeah. And I was like, yep, that's like a parent thing. Or you save money. Or you get somebody's hand-me-down. Or that's not a thing at school that somebody at school would get you. That's inappropriate. And he said, he then I was getting feedback, and he was getting feedback that he was doing a really great job. And he came in and he said, it's all because of you. And I was like, it's not because of me. It's because of you. He's like, but he found somebody to work with him on the things he had problems with, and he feels like he's doing really well. Oh, not only is he doing the S word this week under 10, he's also figuring out how much he talks when he doesn't need to. There's no reward around this one. This one is just a noticing week for this. He goes, I said, somebody had told me that you're talking a lot. when it doesn't need to happen, and you don't need to say things. He goes, I do that. I said, bud, I do that too. I'm going to also notice how much I talk. And right now I'm noticing because my son and my husband went to do agility drills because my son's really good at sports. So I went to go do agility drills. And I'm home by myself talking to nobody. And I thought, oh, I could go on Facebook. I could go on YouTube Live and talk to nobody. Hey, I got to talk. I've talked for 20 minutes. And you know, every time I get on this, I think it's 5 minutes. Hasn't once been 5 minutes. I think if I ended right now, this one would be the shortest one. So he's noticing how much he talks. And then we're going to make a plan and a goal for, okay, bud, what is there a class you talk in the most? Is there people you talk around the most? Are there teachers that let you talk the most or don't let you talk the most? Are there situations where you talk the most? Is it like I talk a lot in lunch and social, and then that class afterwards I talk a lot? So is that the goal? Like, what's the goal? And not talking is going to be hard. So what are we going to do to replace that? Are we going to have a scheduled time? Right, I'm here on Thursdays and Fridays. Can I come up on Thursday and we can sit together for 10 minutes, so you'll have that 10 minutes of extra talk time? Is there a teacher you could talk to, or their friends you could talk to, or there are times that you could talk to friends and teachers when you don't normally, or when, because, right, I don't want you to not talk to the point of it being detrimental to you, right? Because we are external thinkers. A lot of times, I said, you and I think out loud. So we are talking because we're actually doing our thinking. It's just not quietly in our heads. It's out loud. So I don't want work to suffer. I don't want your ability to process things to suffer. I just want the extra talking is what I've been hearing. And he's like, okay, so I'll keep you updated, guys. But I think when we say it does work and the kids love it, neither of those things are true. And I have successfully done 2 that have worked. And you know what part of it is too, is that I know what to do because I'm in behavior. So I've gotten the information on what to do. And I know the questions to ask. I know when it starts to get like shaky. I know the relationship piece and the connection piece. I know the principles of relationship piece. I know how old they need to be, right? I mean, you could do all of this, I guess, for a 5-year-old, but they're not in a developmentally appropriate stage to figure this out. You can't ask the questions necessary to accept, understand, and participate. You just can't. They're not there. And they're going to answer you as best they can, but again, they're 5, right? So let's be careful. Let's figure out, right? And then people say, well, if we're not going to do these, what do we do instead? And I always say, that's the wrong question. The right question is, what new information do I need so I know what to do instead? And I'm here for all the information, guys. I have like 40 workshops, virtual ones. I have a virtual masterclass. I'm making another masterclass for the autism community soon. I have to wrap my head around all the work it takes to do that because I'm a good starter, poor finisher by temperament. I also have drunk squirrels, so I like get excited, like I'm really excited about it. I thought of the title, I thought of like what the workshops could be about. Now I have to actually record the workshops. I have to make the handouts, and it's like when I redid my masterclass, it's 9 hours. I was good for like out till hour 4, and then I was like, I have 5 more to do. It's just hard to talk to yourself for 9 hours, even when you talk a lot. Okay, guys, if you have any questions, I'm here. Also on Instagram at Meg Thompson Behavior. And this really helps, guys. If you're here and you love this information, like and subscribe. That really, really, really helps. It helps me get in front of more people so more people get new information. If I'm the new information girl, we need to make sure I get out there. So click like, and subscribe. And I appreciate it. And I love you guys. And I will see you soon. Bye, everyone.